I make sure when you flip it upside down that those chips aren't going anywhere.
So 2 bags of cheese. What else do you put in there? Like what other toppings?
Normally I would do like if I had any pepperoncinis, sometimes I'll put like some pepperoncinis on there. Or I do hot sauce. I usually do some sour cream, and then if I have like some avocados and stuff, I'll make some like guac.
All right.
And then, like, how long would you say between when you eat your delectable meal and then you have to make a deposit in your turlet?
Because
with that much dairy, I might as well just eat on the toilet at that point.
Yeah, well, see, the cheese slows me. My body's used to cheese, so.
It's good.
But
so you'll make it through the entire podcast.
Yeah, no, I'll be paying for it later. I'll be laying in bed later tonight, and it'll be like, and I'll be like, oh shit.
Fun fact: did you know being able to digest dairy is like the last form of human evolution that's on record? Like that's why so many people are lactose intolerant, because it's like actually a smaller percentage of the world's population that can break down lactose than can't, and that's just because Europeans have that ability, and like the rest of the world says we don't do that with our cows. So it's actually like the last actual like human evolution that they've decided on is lactose. Just kind of one of those random things, but
that's what's weird to me is because like cheese and sour cream, I'm completely fine. Like milk and ice cream fucks my stomach up like hard, which is why I don't drink milk or rarely eat ice cream unless like I know I'm going to be home in like 40 minutes.
Yeah, you gotta get that A2 like ultra pasteurized milk, dude. That's the shit right there.
And what's funny is like I'm basically the same genetic background as you, Shannon. Like I'm like Irish and like English and French more than anything. The rest of me is like Native American and some fucking European bullshit. So if anything, I would think like me and you would be in sync on that shit. And nah, man, like I can do dairy just fine. Like I can pound a glass of milk and go to bed and not even worry about it.
Oh man, I want to know what that life is like.
Though it's funny, my mom completely lactose intolerant. Like I can't even put cream in her coffee type shit. You know?
Oh wow.
Like, yeah. So who knows?
Just rolled the dice and got lucky, man. That's your lot in life.
Well, that's what it's like. As a kid, like I drank milk and shit all the time and was completely fine. It wasn't until I was like an adult that I was like, "Why is this fuck my stomach up so much?
Why is this happening to me?"
Because you stopped drinking it, probably, right? Like there's probably like a good chunk of window where you stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you kept that shit going, like you'd be fine. But
and if we're talking about winning the genetic lottery, well then,
look no further.
Yeah, just feast your eyes, gentlemen. His bald head don't come for free. All right, well we can start whatever. Just we can get the ball rolling. I know Shannon's got shit to do, so.
Well, you know, I mean, like I said, I may just like at 7:00, I may just gypsy fade and leave the recording going, and then like you guys can just be like, whatever, when you're done, and just like leave. I'll stop the recording or whatever.
Okay.
But yeah, let's hit the road. I'm good to go.
All right. Justin, are you done crunching?
Crunch and munch.
Yeah, I'm about down to the tortilla, so it'll be quiet.
Just give me like 20 seconds of crunching so that I can edit it out with a noise profile.
Yeah, here you go, huh? Was that good, Shannon?
That was perfect.
The grossest shit.
That's gonna be the best cold intro ever.
Yeah. I made it extra while I was pushing the tortilla chip against the roof of my mouth. Like I don't normally eat like that, but I just did it for Shannon.
just had to make it rain in there. Like
make some ASMR for crew.
Fuck this show. This is the worst. Okay. I don't even know where to begin. Hello, everyone, and welcome to That Pixel Life. This is episode 93, recording on May 25th, 2020. We are going to go down the schedule that has been released of... So, with E3 leaving, that has created quite a vacuum, and, nature abhors a vacuum, so it has been filled, and we are going to go through the cacophony of events that has filled that space and kind of go down what's happening with them. We're going to talk some Animal Crossing. We're going to talk a little what we've been playing. And to do that, I have with me, as always, Mr. Shannon Moore.
How you doing?
Oh, it's boiling, just slowly dying from heat exhaustion. Doing good. How about yourself?
Well, a little peek behind the curtain, if you will. We were supposed to be recording on Sunday, but somebody had to go out to a frickin' barbecue. So, here we are on a Monday, and I'm sweating my balls off in like this office that, I have to record in now. One of the cool things, though, is my dad decided on this Memorial Day weekend to clean out his office. So I found this turkey call. Here, I'll give you some unfettered sounds right now. Oh, damn it.
Sounds like you're sharpening a knife.
Yeah. I don't know how it works. I thought it would be good audio. Sorry. Why don't you just introduce our next host?
All right, and someone else who couldn't record yesterday because someone had to go to a barbecue. I don't know who that person would be that would throw our schedule all off. But anyway, let's talk to Justin Tom Carter. How you doing, Justin?
Good. I was going to have a witty comeback for Shannon, but I think he embarrassed himself enough with that turkey call that I don't need to do anything.
Yeah, it's always good when the person that you're going to roast just shoots themselves in the foot.
Yeah. But yes, I had a barbecue and swimming yesterday. And see, it wouldn't have been a problem, but see, we were also, I didn't realize the house was out in Tempe. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was more local, which Tempe is about 30, 40 minutes away from where I live.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned with how you say Tempe. It's a little more delayed than us Californians would usually call it. Is that an Arizona thing to draw out the M a little bit more?
I didn't even realize he was saying Tempe. That's weird.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably due to the 4 cups of cheese of this tortilla that I have in my mouth. It's sticking my molars together. It's you can see some of the tortilla on my teeth. See, it's like.
Oh, that's some premium content right there.
I'd rather not. I'd really not. Oh shit. But yeah. So it was funny. Mr. Platinum himself gifted me a digital copy of Sonic, and so shouts to Mr. Jordan Derringer High, and new dad Jordan Derringer High, by the way, and I guess he had bought the digital copy. He's like, I don't use it, or bought the physical release that came with the digital. He's like, I don't use this stuff. Do you guys want it? I know you got kids, and I was like, sure, man, that'd be great. And so Paramount apparently is the one company that doesn't play nice with movies anywhere. So I could only use that digital code with iTunes. I couldn't put it in my Movies Anywhere library, so I could have it in Amazon and all that fun stuff. And so I've never used Apple TV on my smart TV in my living room. So I'm booting it up. I'm making sure it works. And I'm like, oh, well, I figured this out. I'm just going to put Kung Fu Panda on to make sure something will play, because I had that in my iTunes account from before. Long story short, we never saw Sonic because I was like, okay, I'm going to start the movie. And the kids are like, whoa, wait, we're watching this. Hold on. No. Things are happening in Kung Fu Panda. We got to watch. And I'm like, wait, seriously? We're watching Kung Fu? You guys are into this? We're watching Kung Fu Panda. And we watched all of... They are asking for the sequels. I done fucked up, you guys. I'm in deep on Kung Fu Panda right now. They were we set up a kiddie pool. They were acting out kung fu moves in the back, which I'm all right with. I can get down with some kung fu. Mm-hmm. But I was taken aback. I was not expecting Kung Fu Panda to have taken over my house, but here we are. So
you can't go wrong with Seth Rogen as the Mantis and Jackie Chan as the monkey, and you got some strong voices in there. And
I kind of forgot how well animated that movie was. That was the one thing I was watching it going okay, this is pretty bad. But those set designs were really impressive. Some of those set pieces are super, super impressive in that movie. So, that's a long way of saying I still haven't seen Sonic. Still haven't seen that movie. I've heard from multiple people it's pretty good, though. I kind of want to see it.
Yeah, I will tell. I own it, and I believe it is a watchable video game movie. It is not bad. It is not. It is not like by any stretch of the imagination a great movie, but I would put it in the good tier. Like I wouldn't mind watching it again, and I have watched it maybe about a half a dozen times because my son wanted to see it.
You're not
So
suffering through it, at least.
no, no, no.
Okay.
You find a couple things to enjoy about it, and I feel that Jim Carrey's portrayal of Dr. Robotnik is like a little bit of Ace Ventura, like mixed with a little bit of I don't know, like mad scientist, like little bit of his what is it, Fire Marshal Bill character.
Is he
Like,
about to like bomb your house? What's that airplane that's flying over you right now, or something? Or is that happening at Justin's? I don't know.
I don't know. Well, my window's open and there was a plane that flew overhead.
Okay.
So,
But it was funny. You were talking like Jim Carrey, and all of a sudden I'm hearing like.
Dr. Robotnik's coming to like this.
There was like a chime ringing, and then like a World War II Zeppelin was like fucking flying.
That's pretty crazy that you guys can hear that. That's like outside downstairs, like in the backyard, like, and that's my microphone picking it up.
And it's funny though because I'm sitting here like you're talking, and my head kind of goes sideways, and then I see Justin see me, and he's like,
The Red Barons flying by.
I was like, Snoopy's coming for you, man. Better.
Makes me really worried about all those times I farted while the mic was on.
Hear all. No, that's good to hear. That's good to hear though, because I know I'm going to watch that movie probably more than once. So hearing it's not Trolls is nice. Mm-hmm. The one I want. Have either one of you seen Scoob yet? I'm down for the new Scooby-Doo movie. Like people tell me it's pretty good, and I always kind of had a soft spot for Scooby-Doo. I like me some Scooby-Doo, so I don't know. I think I might. I'm gonna wait for that to go on sale because I think to buy it right now is like $25 on digital. Mm-hmm. That seems like $10 too much. So, but if I can get that for that $15 range, I'll probably snag that one. But I love me some Scooby-Doo.
You might be waiting a while.
Maybe. I can see that coming.
Yeah, it was one of those movies that was supposed to come out in theaters, right? And they were just like, "Oh, screw it. Let's kids need something to watch, so we'll just put it out right now." So I think it's probably going to be about 6 months before it comes down in price. I would say at least.
Do you guys share my hatred of Scrappy-Doo? Because as a
Scrappy's
kid,
a little
I hated Scrappy-Doo, dude.
Yeah, like, that dude was just starting so much shit like all the time. I was just like, dude, like, what a punk bitch, dude. Like
little Napoleon complex, like smallest dude starting all the fights. It's like, come on, man, what are you doing? But yeah, so you guys got anything? Any movies? Any action? What you guys been up to?
I finally got around to seeing the second Jumanji movie, the one with Danny DeVito and what's his name, Danny Glover. Mm-hmm. And I will say that it's not. I don't feel it's as good as the first one. They kind of tried to tap that well that already been done tapped, but I will say The Rock as Danny DeVito and Kevin Hart as Danny Glover is funny for about 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then after that, it just gets really old. Like, it's like, okay, how many times do you want to hear The Rock speak with speak in some weird, like kind of Bronxish, draw, and then brag about how awesome he is because the whole thing is Danny DeVito's old and his hip hurts and like everything about him hurts. And now he's in this like tall, muscular body. And he's always been this short, fat guy. And he's just like, finally he is who mentally he thinks he is. And he just kind of turns into a little prick. And then, the other dude is just like, he's kind of, more the observant, slow talker. And he kind of realizes his shortcomings as well. And, it's not as strong as the first one. Like, I don't feel, but it was decent. I can't really remember any set points like I can in the first one. Like, when like she does the like the dance fighting, or he eats the cake and he explodes in the bazaar. There's nothing like funny like that where you just kind of break out and laugh. You just have moments that are kind of like, there's just some funny dialogue choices, and they add a new character that wasn't on the roster before, so you're just like, okay, well, now you're just kind of going all ad hoc on this thing, but
reminds me of Street Fighter V. Yeah, you're like, yeah, throw that character in. I don't know, sure, whatever, yes.
Yeah, who cares? We'll just make up some story. Like hell, we won't even put in a story. We'll just put the character in there. We'll worry about the story later.
Yeah, RoboCop's in Mortal Kombat now. Who cares? Like, yeah, just that first Jumanji is for free on Hulu right now. By the way.
Oh hell yeah!
I caught that again the other night. It was one of those up at 1 a.m. because time and dates have lost all meaning in this house, and I was sitting there and I didn't want to play anything, and I'm flipping around. I'm like, oh shit, Jumanji for free, sweet, like $3.99. We can do this. So that was me till 3 a.m. But you know, it was good times. Did you guys see a quick addendum to before we get into the breakdown of stuff? In a kind of I don't remember PlayStation ever doing this, but they're changing PlayStation Plus this month. So on the 26th of tomorrow, you can download Call of Duty World War II for free as a PS Plus game. Like if you add it to your lineup, you can download it whenever. And because I mean, May for PS Plus has been Farming Simulator 19 and City Skyline. I'm not making that up. That was actually the games for PS Plus was Farming Simulator 19. So adding Call of Duty World War II into that, last year's Call of Duty game is a pretty sweet add-on. Are any interest in going back to that? Because I think I'm probably going to play it again. I don't know. That was a good campaign.
I got it for Christmas that year, and I never played it. I think I heard it was a really good, a really good story campaign, but I never really touched it. I forget what I was probably still playing Xenoblade.
Chrono.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't know. Like there's enough coming out to where I don't think I'm going to revisit that just yet. I'm not in the mood for a shooter. I'm kind of hitting my JRPG stride right now. So I think I'll
to be fair, you live in that stride.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that is true. That is my wheelhouse. Justin,
you should at least add it so you can download it whenever.
But I still have the game.
Oh yeah, but I mean, then you got to get a disc, and you got to. It's such a pain in the ass.
You know what? That's funny. Like going back like to the beginning of this generation, everybody's like, "Oh, digital! Like I don't want to do digital anymore." Like even I was just like, screw that! Like this digital all on, like no more physical copies. How are we gonna sell the games back? Now we're all like, "Oh God, you got to get a disc. You got to walk over to the thing. You got to put the disc in, and then it's got to load."
hey, I'll tell you right now, I've lost some weight, but my still fat ass from the beginning has been saying, I do not want more stuff. Like, yeah, all digital. I was all digital future. As soon as they said, oh, yeah, you can download all these games too, I was like, yes, I can. Thank you very much. The only discs I have gotten this generation have been presents, like either Christmas presents or birthday presents. I have not bought a single disc for myself in this time. I do not want more stuff. Just no.
I just want to know how they're going to recoup me if the game is a turd and I want to, trade it in to get something else.
And I feel you, but you know what? If I go to McDonald's and I get a shitty batch of McNuggets, I'm out. I'm out that money, dude. I can't take them back and be like, hey, bro, these McNuggets did not meet my nugget expectations.
Your 20 nuggets are also like $5. Like
and I can't be back and be like, hey, give me $2 for these 17 bullshit nuggets. Like, no, it's over. Like,
but I'm just saying it's a lot easier to pocket like $5 and a trip to the bathroom for 45 minutes than it is $65 and like just not being able to bring that game back.
And you're not wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. But my point is, you have 95% of purchases you make in your life are one way, and then like 5% go the other way. It might make a lot of sense if the people making that product look at the scene and go, hey, that 95% direction seems like a better way to do this. I'm just saying. Maybe. Who knows? Like, Justin,
Right.
do you have thoughts? You've been silent. What's going on?
It's all that cheese slowing
are
him
you,
down.
yeah, I was gonna say, are you still alive?
What?
Did you choke on cheese? What's happening?
With discs, like I'm totally for the digital thing anyway because anytime I go to put in a disc in my PlayStation, it takes about 30 seconds for I have to like use my thumb to fucking help the disc go into the PlayStation because it's like,
geez.
and I'm like one of these times I'm like, God, I hope whatever game gets stuck in there I like because it's gonna be forever in there at some point.
I just the thought of you like force feeding your PlayStation 4 a game is just it's pretty hilarious to me.
Oh,
well, I'm glad you like it, Shannon. Fucking dick.
But are you
it's the heat, I'm sorry.
Are you a Call of Duty guy? You gonna play WW2?
I'm probably more likely to play the farming simulator than
yeah, all right.
Oh, dude, I was like the last one I think I played was Black Ops 1,
which was all right. Like yeah. Black Ops 1 was all right.
Yeah, so see, I got out while the getting was good before they like went on the tangent of like the advanced wars, and then before they like, this is Modern Warfare, but not Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, but actual Modern Warfare.
And Infinite Warfare, and we swear to God this isn't Titanfall Warfare, and all that stuff. The I'm probably gonna mess with it just because I've been missing a World War II shooter. Like I like World War II games, and the last one I actually played with any sort of more than a passing fancy was Wolfenstein Old Blood. And that's not really a World War II shooter, like there's a lot of shit happening in that game. So I'm probably gonna mess with it. Who knows? But for free, or not free, but for no additional charge other than my PS Plus, I will probably imbibe because why not?
Dude, I still think it was hilarious that enough people bitched about Farming Simulator and whatever that Sony decided to throw out the extra game just to shut people up.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty weak lineup, dude. Your personal feelings from farming aside, and City Skyline is great. Hey, by the way, if you miss the old SimCity games, like get Skyline. Skyline's really good. Like it's a great SimCity like, and I have not messed with the console edition, which is obviously the one they're peddling on the PS4. But I did mess with the PC version way back when, and it's really good. So don't turn your nose up on City Skyline or Farming Sim. Maybe it kicks ass. Maybe farming is just so fun. I don't know. But like, man, those are two weak games to trot out and be like, yeah, you paid for this service. Have fun farming, motherfucker. Like, no, I mean, you can't do that. Like, I mean, at its weakest, it seems like the Microsoft games with gold is still like, yeah, I ain't got shit, but how about this racing game from 8 years ago? Maybe that's something. I don't know. Y'all like dirt? That's kind of what Microsoft does, at least.
They're like MX versus ATV full revenge.
Yeah, totally. But the 360 version, that's the one we're giving you. Yeah. Totally.
Well, before that, I don't know if they're still doing this, but didn't they like switch it up like halfway through the month? Like the first half of the month, it was like 2 games or like 1 game, and then like the second half of the month, it was another game.
Yeah, that was Game with Gold. I think they still do that shit, where it's like there's like 1 game, 1 game's for the whole month, and then they cycle everything halfway or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that's a good model. I think PlayStation should just follow that. Yeah. I mean, that way, if you get a dud like in the first like 2 weeks, you're like, oh well, at least it's only half the month that I have to put up with this shit.
But we should. Are you guys a little worried about Sony? Like they just seem. It's one of those things. Like there's a lot of little things that in of themselves are just blips, and it's like, yeah, who cares? Like, okay, this was a shitty month for PS Plus, or like. Yeah, that Cerny talk kind of sucked. Or like, man, they really didn't handle The Last of Us 2 delay all that well. And then with the leaks and all that. But when you start putting it all together, it kind of is making me a little worried about Sony and the PS5 going forward. It just, it's painting a picture of like disorganization, and it might not be fair. It may just be me trying to read tea leaves or something, but it's concerning to me. And Shannon, you look like you're not concerned. Justin, you look like you don't care. So I don't know. But,
no, I mean, like, honestly, like, this is Sony. This is how Sony runs their shit. Like, I mean, across all of their divisions, like, one division doesn't know what the other one is doing. There's no support between, like, for the company, like, as a whole, like, over all of their branches. Like, I mean, like, you saw it with the PlayStation Portable. Like, they rebranded that thing probably, like, 2 or 3 different times. And, like, that thing was just out there left to die, like, numerous times. You know, like, it's just, you know, they just push forward, and it's not a cohesive message. None of the departments, even in the same division, know what they're doing, and they all just release their own information, and it contradicts other information. But, like, ultimately, when it comes out, it's a decent product that people are happy with. I think, you know, I'm not really too worried with the Last of Us 2 debacle that is that game, especially, you know, hearing that you have to play through it more than once to get the full story. Yeah. That was a kick in the balls, but you know, it's not a game that I'm going to be playing anyway, so, you know, it sucks for the people that do want to enjoy that game. But, you know, that's a choice that they made, and it's not a choice that I think is going to land well. So that's on them. But that's just a game. That's not like a whole platform. I believe that with the you know, Sony's always missed the mark when it's come to their E3 presentations. You know, everybody wants to go to Xbox because they drop the cars from the ceiling and they have, like, the weird shit happen. Like, Sony is like, you go to their conference at E3 and, like, the first, like, 45 minutes is, like, quarterly quotas and, like, their revenue stream over the last year. And, well, like, even though you didn't want it, like, their TV sales for the last year, too.
They did button shit up in the last couple years. They did button that up a little bit in the last couple years, where it was just like, oh, wait, we have an opportunity to just step on Microsoft's throat right now. So here's games. And then we'll deal with everything else later. And, like, you know, the puddles being different in Spider-Man or some bullshit, whatever fake controversy it was at the time. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just... the fact that there's still, like, zero information out there about a PS5, as far as, like, looks at all this, it's like, yeah, there's specs. I got that. And we saw a controller, because apparently that was going to leak, so they just wanted to get out in front of it. And what games are coming out for the PS5? Like, we don't know anything yet. It just, I'm just a little concerned, is all. Like, it just...
No, and people are gonna buy that shit. They don't care. Like, I mean, it's already been proven. They'll play the same dumb shit, like, over and over again. Just re-release it for the new console, like, that you launched with the old console, and, like, people will be like, "Oh, look at the graphics. It's great.
Yeah,
I'll go play this game again."
No. But see, the thing is, Nintendo can do that. Like, and I'm not even being I'm not joking. Like, Nintendo can do that. Like, Nintendo's like, "Hey, you remember Super Mario 3, right? Buy that shit again for $10. And people are like, okay, great, I can play it on my Switch. And, like, I'm not one of those people, but, you know, a lot of people are, and more power to them. I don't know if Sony can do that, you know, because, like, Sony's library at this point, to go from, let's say, PS3 forward, it isn't the same thing. Like, PS3 games look dated as shit now. And no one's going to cough up $20 for them, I don't think. To play that game on a new console. Maybe a up-res version, HD, improved, 4K, whatever, sure. But, like, just to say, hey, download the ROM and play it on your PS5, I don't see that happening. Not like Nintendo can do it.
Yeah, what if they remaster, like, Black Flag, and they're like, here you go, PlayStation 5, improved water graphics, puddles galore, like, waves up the yin-yang, sea spray that hits your face and you feel it. Like, and you're just like, yep, sign me up for that, please. I want to blow some shit up on the PlayStation 5 with that game that's been released on everything.
I mean, you cut me deep. You cut me deep on that one, because that's, you went I hate that you went, like, right to the fucking nuclear option with me on that one, but because you picked, like, the game where I'm like, I mean, maybe, like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we put a Kraken in the middle of the sea on this one. Have fun with it. Like, you're just like, fuck, I'm in.
No, but see, if that happens, then I can justify it to myself. I can be like, oh, well, there's Kraken now. It's a new content. I have to. I mean,
they're like PlayStation All Stars 2 Redux.
yeah. Now with more Loki.
More medieval.
Yeah, yeah.
Whoop.
Oh Jesus! But no, I mean, Justin, what are your thoughts? Like, do you are is any of this painting a pattern for you that seems concerning, or are you with Shannon and I'm just fucking crazy over here?
Like I feel like really the whole COVID thing kind of threw a wrench in Sony's plans, and they kind of just fumbled their way through it at this point. Like you said, with The Last of Us 2 and stuff delay, I don't think they really knew how to handle that and stuff. And then, Naughty Dog, and they had like the supposed leak from like disgruntled employees and stuff. And it's just kind of been, I feel like for them, it's just really been like a rough couple months. And I think they're just kind of playing it close to the chest to see what Microsoft's doing. But I am surprised that we haven't heard of at least like launch. Like you said, like normally there's like maybe like one or two like actual like brand new kind of like IP or whatever like launch titles, and then like there's another like I don't know like 6 or 7 like this was on the PlayStation 4 but now it's on the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Like I know like Watch Dogs was kind of that thing where it kind of caught the end of like the PS3 360 era, and then like when PS4 and Xbox One came out and stuff, it's like, oh, and here it is but prettier on these consoles and stuff like that. So
yeah.
I mean, you're gonna have that. You're gonna have Cyberpunk 2077. You seriously think that's not gonna chug on like the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One X? Like they're gonna need like the PlayStation 5 to run that thing. I bet you that I put money on it.
It's gonna be like Grand Theft Auto 5 on the 360, where you have the second disc that you have to like fucking install a bunch of shit just to get it to run.
Or like God of War on a regular PS4 that just sounds like a freaking C5 Galaxy taking off on a runway. The second you boot it up, it's like, he's like, oh God, what are you doing to me? Please stop. Please stop. Yeah, I mean, it's just, and to Shannon mentioned it earlier, and maybe we should talk about that, is I can't think of a major title on scale of Last of Us 2. Like, there have been multiple advertising cycles based around this game over years that I have seen them bungle so hard. Like this last couple months has been rough as far as Last of Us 2. I know more people after the last 6 weeks of either Twitter or quotes or articles about Last of Us 2 that are like, I'm good. I really don't want to play this game at all. And like some people know how the story ends, and some of it's like, I don't like the story now. Like, I'm good. I don't really care to see it. But even people that haven't been spoiled been like, oh, you're going to make me feel bad for killing dogs, and now I have to play through this 40-hour game twice to get the whole story. Nah, I'm good. Like thanks for telling me out front you're trying to make me feel like shit for playing this game. And I think it's just like turning a bunch of people off. And it's to the point where I don't even know how true that is. Like, it sounds to me like they're trying to be the metal kid in high school that's saying, like, what they think is, like, the really cool, evil shit. But everyone is just like, dude, you sound so lame, and that sounds so dumb. And they don't realize that they're coming off that way. I don't know. Like, it seems... how no one in the room is going like, hey guys, this is going really bad. Why don't we talk about something else that is a part of this game that actually is something people want to do? It blows me away that this is how this game is coming into land. And that's where circling back to my original point, it's like they don't know, like they don't have a cohesive plan for this. And it's like, how have you had multiple advertising cycles for years and don't know how to land the plane at this point? It's like, It's like, well, we had delay. Okay, you still were going to do the same thing regardless of the delay. You were still going to have the same. There's a whiteboard out there with the talking points on it. These were the ones you decided on. Like, I'm going to make you feel like shit for killing animals. You're going to play dark, make horrible decisions that you're going to have to be forced to live with, and you're probably going to have to do it multiple times to get what we're trying to tell you. Like, what? Thanks?
Yeah.
Thanks? Like, this is like what you're selling me?
Yeah, if those are the talking points, I would hate to see what you swept under the carpet.
Exactly.
They're like, man, I sure miss the days where people were just pissed that Ellie kissed another girl.
Right, totally. It's like, oh, man. I don't. But I'm kind of with Shannon, where he was like, I'm not going to play with it. Like, I was never really a big Last of Us 1 fan to begin with. And the recent trend is just like, nah, I might fuck with it on PS Plus 2 years from now or something like that. But I'm kind of to the point where I don't really want to play it. I don't know. Like, it's just, I know that's not going to be a game I enjoy. So why put myself through it? I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of people getting in the way of video games, did you see this week that PETA got into Animal Crossing and made a stink about your museum in Animal Crossing?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, they're basically saying it was inhumane to have the fish in the tanks. The fish didn't seem happy. They weren't swimming around. The screenshots that they used were of their own Animal Crossing, and the fish area of the museum was open and had fish in it, so they had to have gone fishing to do it. So a lot of people were.
I also, but to their point, when will people step up and take humane responsibility of fake fish? When? Yeah. When is this going to happen?
Of programmed code.
Yeah. These polygonals have no one to speak for them, Shannon. No one.
I know. They're like at home. They're like, because of the stay-at-home order, they're like, it's been 14 days since I yelled at someone that meets murder. They're like, what are we gonna do, guys?
Their roommate is like, look, I know. I know. Just stop telling me. Jesus. Yeah, that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Like,
yeah,
that's like people arguing about, internet arguing about like Star Wars or something. Like, guys, it's all fake. None of it's real. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you, but
dude, well, what it reminds me of is when PETA, when like Super Meat Boy came out and stuff, they did the Super Tofu Boy, and then like in an update they added Tofu Boy as a character in Super Meat Boy.
But see, I actually like that. I think that's awesome. Like, that's one of those, like, yeah, okay, that's like comes across as good natured, at least on the developer's part of like, yeah, let's take Tofu Boy and throw him in there. Why not? Like that's a good way to handle that, I guess. But no, if you're just sitting around stuck, like, like Justin was saying, you're stuck in your house finding something to complain about, like, dude, find a better way to spend your time, guys. Guess what? There's a lot of real bad shit you can actually complain about out in the world still. I mean, it's weird, but well, okay, let's go through. We got a quick list that Polygon threw up where to talk about all of the events that are going to be replacing E3. And when you start going through it, it's pretty sizable, one. And two, it goes to show you how much, like, people were saying, oh, E3's dying, E3's dead, it's changing, it's not what it used to be. But when you look at how many things it's going to take to replace it, you go, oh, well, maybe it wasn't as dead as I thought it was. Maybe it still had a place just as a central point for all of this stuff. Because we're going to start with June is the PC Gaming Show, which is June 6th. And that's going to have live streams, because obviously these are all digital events. There's no one's gathering for any of these things. So that's going to have live streams from Games Radar, Paradox Interactive, Guerrilla Collective, amongst others. And so that's kind of going to kick everything off. And that leads to June 11th, which is EA's Play Live, which is usually their E3 adjacent event. But now it's going to be an all digital broadcast with a bunch more reveals and updates. And I'm sure we're going to hear about probably, 5 Star Wars projects since Fallen Order hit. Like, we're probably going to get a bunch of that and a bunch of Madden, a bunch of FIFA, all that type of stuff. Do you think EA brings any heat that we're not expecting? Think they're dropping Anthem 2.0 on us or something?
Battlefield 2 DLC.
I mean, all right. Like, I'm listening. That's not the worst thing,
Well, I want to know it a little bit. Even though I don't play their sporting games, I kind of wanted to see what was up with like their active roster like subscription. Like I think it was like free for like the first like couple months or something like that, but then like after that, I think it's a subscription based thing. So I kind of am wondering how EA is going to pilfer more money out of their customer base.
Yeah, because I mean. They've had so many failures as far as other titles that they're going to keep pressing those stones together to get some blood out of them for the sports titles. You got to think. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like if you want to play online or you want to play in any other like not career mode like online things, and you want to get like those all-star players, you're probably going to be forking out some cash for those.
You got to think that, but yeah. It wouldn't shock me if we see another like Respawn project, maybe another Star Wars project, something like that. I doubt you'll see Titanfall 3.
I would like to see like a remade like Knights of the Old Republic or like something something that was a little bit more like that's in that like savory, like people are going to go to that for the nostalgia factor as opposed to like a new IP.
I bet you we'd be more likely to get Mass Effect remastered here than Knights of the Old Republic. Maybe Dead Space, but that's just me hoping. But but then that same night, my computer decided to chime. I don't know, but that same night, we have the Cyberpunk 2077 Night City Wire event where CD Projekt Red is going to be hosting a live stream to be doing some deep dives in the game and breaking down some processes and things of that nature. And that, again, that game comes out September 17th. So seems like a pretty good time you got to be expecting most base things are far beyond developed at that point. So the rest of that time is going to be spit and polish. And I'm excited to see what the hell that game is. Give me more of that game. I'm ready. My body is ready, to quote Reggie. I'm ready for some Cyberpunk.
I am so ready for that game. The problem is I don't want to be overexposed to that game because I don't want to be like. I mean, I don't want to be let down, but at the same time, I want to be the proper amount of excited and the proper amount of like. I want to have the proper amount of information going into it, so I'm not like overwhelmed. So I got to straddle that line. But me being like the weak-willed son of a bitch that I am when it comes to wanting to play this game, I know I'm going to sit there and watch this whole thing and be like, oh my God.
Well, the fact that I heard that there's customizable genitals tells me that's a day one purchase for Shannon.
God damn it.
You mean he can make them look like Keanu Reeves? He's there. So then we go from June 11th.
I'm going to get banned on Twitter because I'm just going to keep sending modified genital pics to Keanu being like, does this look like it? And
he's going to be like,
he's going to stop it, Shannon. Stop it.
I've blocked you 10 times. How do you keep finding me?
Justin's profile.
Nice. But then you go from the 11th to June 22nd. And also July 20th is the Day of the Devs, which was a Double Fine thing they used to do out here in San Francisco every year. Hopefully they'll do it again next year, but it's where they basically invite a whole bunch of indie developers and do a whole showcase of their upcoming games, and there's always like news and music and all this stuff, so it's going to be interesting to see how that translates into a digital stream. But publishers that are confirmed to appear are Akupara Games, Behemoth, Finji, Qualu Knights, Longhand Electric, MWM Interactive, Skybound, Tribute, a whole bunch of people. A whole bunch of people are coming into this thing. And, that's where I've found some good indie games in the past, so I'll be paying attention.
Hey, Justin, is Negative Space going to be there?
Maybe next year.
All right. Well, that's for Negative Space 2, right? Because you'll have that. Negative Space 1 will have been out by then. So.
Oh yeah, it'll already like be on like the Oculus like Rift 7, and you can play the Beat Saber tracks for it and stuff.
Justin hates us. Anyway, on June 23rd, there's the New Game Plus Expo. And this is for a bunch of people that seem to be, or not seem to be, that are headquartered in Japan. And it's going to be a Twitch live stream from 12 to 7 on June 23rd, like I said. And that's going to be Sega, Koei Tecmo, Arc System Works, NIS America, SNK, and Spike Chunsoft. So there's been rumblings that Sega is like doing stuff. And I'm really curious to see if any of that is going to mean some cool, maybe they saw the success of Streets of Rage and Streets of Rage 4 and stuff like that. Like maybe we get a little blast from the past for the new systems. I'd be down for some new Sega properties that are more than Yakuza games at this point.
Yeah, give me an Altered Beast, like a remade Altered Beast.
Golden Axe? I'll take a Golden Axe.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Give me Golden Axe all day.
Some Shining Force?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The Cap Attack with Chuck D. Head. All right, it's time. Bring him back. Kid Chameleon, let's do this. I fucking love Kid Chameleon, by the way. Like, I played that game to death when I was like 12 years old. It was just, that was my go-to game. I rented it so much from, it was before Blockbuster Video, if I want to date myself for a second. We had in Sunnyvale, California, if I go way back, we had a video store called Major Video. And I rented Kid Chameleon from that store probably 3 weekends a month just because I was obsessed with it. And, that was a time when you got 2 video games a year, once on Christmas, once on your birthday, and that was the end of the list. And I finally, after about, I want to say 3 months of renting this game, the guy looked at my dad and was like, "Do you just want to buy this for $10? Because, like, he keeps renting it." And apparently I was, like, the person that rented that game. I don't know if anyone else rented it the whole time it was there. And my dad was like, "Yeah, fine." So that's how I wound up with my copy of Kid Chameleon. But it was like, yeah, I rented it so often the guy took pity on me and just kind of gave it to me for $10. So
they're like, we got our money's worth out of it.
Oh, yeah. I probably bought it 5 times in the amount of rented it. But good times. I love that game. So after that, June 27th and 28th is Bit Summit Gaiden, which is a Kyoto showcase for Bit Summit. And I don't really know. But that's just one more thing. Bunch of demos, live streams, all that type of stuff. And guys, that's just June. Because then in July, you've got the Xbox Game Studio Showcase, which is going to be the 343, Halo Infinite stuff, the Senua Saga stuff, and apparently a bunch more. Microsoft has that. It seems a little like they just keep saying, like, no, don't worry, we got shit. We got tons of stuff. You guys, I don't know why everyone's so concerned. And meanwhile, like, they're throwing up, like, the fake backgrounds just to be like, there's tons of people here, and it's just cardboard standees, like, all it just, like, it's fine.
It's like one of those Zoom calls with, like, the crowd in the background where, like, when you move, you can see your head, like, altering the background.
Like, we have so much gameplay for you guys.
And here,
yeah. Hope you don't have to go to the bathroom, because we don't want you to miss it, but it's there.
And by so much, I meant 10 seconds. So, anyway. But then after that, there's the Ubisoft event, which is July 12th, which, I'm assuming we'll actually see Valhalla gameplay at that point. And then get updates on, Watch Dogs Legion, which that Legion is the game I'm actually really curious about. I mean, everyone's talking Valhalla, and for good reason. Legion, I loved Watch Dogs 2. And when I saw that initial presentation on Legion and what they were trying to do with it, and then was like, I had the thought then of, like, there's no way in hell they can do that on what this hardware we have now is. When they were saying it's an Xbox One PS4 game, I'm like, no fucking way. Like, no way is that going to happen. And then to have them come out and be like, yeah, hey, we can't do what we want to do on this shit. We're going next gen with it. So now it's like, okay, what is this game? What are you going to be able to do in it? And I'm hyped for Legion. You guys, anyone?
I was hyped. I was so turned off by the original Watchdog game that I didn't give Watchdog 2 a try.
That's a mistake. You try to. 2's good. It's really good.
Yeah, but so I don't know. Like this one seems daunting as far as the amount of things that you're going to be able to do. It seems like it's up Justin's alley because I mean, like you can basically recruit anybody that you see. So like I mean, it's a troll's paradise, and like I mean, the person who loves just bumping into people in Assassin's Creed just to watch them drop shit. I mean, like this seems like it'd be perfect for him.
Yeah, I was like, what are you trying to say, Shannon?
We're
saying I'm a troll? Is that what you're trying to say, Shannon?
What we're saying, Justin, is it's become apparent over the last few months that trolling people is an endeavor you seem to enjoy. I think that's safe to say.
I mean, okay, you're not wrong.
You know it's good when it starts with okay.
Yeah, I was trying to do what Shannon does, where he's like, okay, but
yeah. I mean, yeah, I think I could see Justin being someone that enjoys,
just recruiting people,
recruiting octogenarians to just grief people as they walk down the road, But then after that is up, basically the whole month of July. There's also going to be Evo Online, which is the whole fighting game tournament that usually takes place in Vegas. It's now going to be a whole online tournament where everyone's going to complain about the results because of lag and netcode, and no one's going to care about it next year. But hey, they're doing it. So good times. And then in August, there's Gamescom, which is they're going to have the big Gamescom opening night, which is August 27th. And that's going to do it for the scheduled events. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if we see more. Obviously, Sony's going to have an event in there at some point that's not on the calendar yet. They might have multiple. I could see one is the system and one for the games. But I could also see them at this rate that they're going at being like, here's 20 minutes. System, fuck it, some games. You're going to buy it any goddamn way. Get out of here. We'll see.
No, I think they're just going to copy Microsoft's homework again. I think they're going to sit there and they're going to be like sitting there with a notepad, and Microsoft's going to come out on their on their thing, and they're going to be like, okay, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this, and then somebody over at Sony's going to be like, okay, well, how can we beat that? Okay, we'll do this, we'll do this, and then they'll put theirs at the very, very end. Like they'll come in like maybe like towards the middle of July, and they'll be like, yeah, we want to go at like the very end of this, and then they're going to come out and they're going to do their thing, their little spiel. And it would probably be like you said, here's 20 minutes. Like, we're not going to really, this is the stuff they already had planned. And then afterwards, they'll have somebody come out and be like, oh, yeah, here's like some cliff notes. We're also going to do this, 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 and this. And suck it, Microsoft. Boom, drop the mic. We're off the stage. And then, we'll see, what kind of dumpster fire that creates. But I think that's how it's going to go. I mean, like, Sony's so used to being on, after getting their ass kicked that first time, I think they're just playing super secret squirrel until they figure out like what they can do to make sure that they stay top dog.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said earlier, I'm guarantee it's going to be $50 cheaper than whatever Microsoft does. Like, whatever the price is, Sony's going to come in $50 cheaper. That's my guess. But yeah, like I'm pretty impressed with the amount of stuff that's filling this E3 gap. It seems kind of crazy to me that, we went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 events, and that's not including Sony. So, we shall see. Like, as a fan, I'm enjoying the fact that I'm getting content the entire summer versus just one big dump. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on this, Justin? Like, how do you think this format looks compared to the standard year?
Like, I think it's nice that there's like there's like a nice variety of events and stuff that they have going on, and it's like I know, especially we didn't talk about it earlier, but like tomorrow and stuff, there's like a indie, like more like an indie game kind of direct and stuff. It's not Nintendo going on tomorrow. It's like I think at 1 Eastern time and stuff. So I think it's almost kind of like E3 in the sense where the PC one usually has like an assortment of indie games, and then like more high end like AAA games and stuff that you would see during Microsoft's conference and stuff like that. And then you kind of have like more of the AAA and then kind of AA game like with Senua's Sacrifice and stuff like that. So you're getting kind of a nice mix, across the events. So.
And actually, you brought up a good point that we also didn't consider that Nintendo is probably going to have something to go on during this time too, right? Like for their holiday stuff.
Yeah, so. I was like, and I know I saw the other day too that supposedly some Swedish retailer supposedly leaked the Metroid Prime trilogy release date on Switch, which I think it was supposed to be. It was like June or July or something like that.
Okay, so, if that's true. If that's true, Nintendo's becoming my new favorite with just being like, yeah, and this comes out in 3 weeks. And it's just like, wait, what? Paper Mario comes out when? So if Paper Mario drops and they're like, yeah, and 2 weeks after that, we got the Metroid Prime trilogy. Just buy it. I love that shit. I like that so much better than like, oh, it's going to come out in 18 months from now. It's just like, no, it's done. It's ready. Just buy it. It's fine. Like, I think that's the way to go. I love that shit.
And I'm willing to take that too, because I have never played any of the Metroid Prime games. So.
Oh really?
Mm-mm. So I want to get in on that. I want to see what all the fuss is about.
You really like those, right, Justin? The Metroid Prime?
Yeah. Especially I love the one thing that pissed me off about one was like the map, because you're so used to like the 2D and so like there's like layers like to the map and stuff, like when you twist it and stuff, and I was like, damn it, like I'm like, where the hell am I going and stuff. But no, yeah, 1 was like great, 2 was fantastic, 3 was a lot of fun, especially on the Wii and stuff.
Yeah, 2 was Echoes. Is that 2?
Yeah, with the Dark Samus.
Yeah, I think it was. That was
it even had multiplayer, which was kind of interesting for them to kind of throw that in there.
And I want to say Retro made all those, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
I think I want to say Echoes was the one where I started paying attention to Retro as a studio. I was like, oh wow, these guys are nailing it. Like, this is really good. Like 2 games in a row. This is super solid. And yeah, I thought it worked really well as a first person perspective. I was into it. I don't know. Now see, I hated motion controls, so the third one was like pulling teeth for me, But a controller based way to go about it, I would definitely be interested, especially if it's all pretty now. I'm in for some Metroid Prime. But also it's got to be cheaper than $60. I can't. That's the thing that's happened this generation to me. I can't pay full price for HD remakes anymore. I just can't. It just something broke in my brain somewhere along the way where I'm like, nah, these ain't worth full price.
So if it was all 3 games for $40, would you be in on that?
Yeah, that puts it in that BioShock remake realm for me. That seems doable. The same with like if they released the Mass Effect trilogy for $40, I'm probably looking at that too. But if they're like, oh no, it's 3 games and they're $40 each, nah, I'm out. Yeah, I'm out. Which is some shit I could see Nintendo doing because they know people will buy it. But we shall see. That gets me excited. I like that. So, is it time for Mike Miller's Animal Crossing Minute? Oh, by the way, I have an exciting announcement. The man himself, Mike Miller, is going to be joining us for an episode soon. I'm trying to nail down a date, but he wants to come on and discuss some Animal Crossing with us. So
nice.
We will have an entire show with the man himself, Mr. Mike Miller. So we did something this week that broke the game, but in a very entertaining way. I was directed by Mike Miller actually to Turnip Exchange, and when I was lamenting turnip prices a couple weeks back, and I discovered on that site it's not about just turnips. Like, people just post islands all over the place, and so you can go to like Southern Hemisphere islands. People time skip, so there's islands in the Northern Hemisphere that are also in like July or August or whatever. And the queuing system they have is really simple and easy. And long story short, we are catching fish and bugs and shit that we shouldn't be catching at this point. like because we're not in, Chile or Argentina, or it's not Christmas around here. But my son is absolutely loving it. It's like totally like reawoken him this game for him now that he can like keep adding to the museum and filling out his rooms, his fish tanks, his insects, all that stuff. He's back in with both feet. But it also just brought kind of shined a spotlight on, this was a big chunk of time for, from essentially release of the game until June, which is when the sharks and stuff start populating. That was a big chunk of time to really only have one edition in there of animals. Like in that entire run, there was 1 month where they added stuff and took stuff away. And it was like, they really should have had 2 months in that time of changing it, but they only did it from the once. And I'm sure if, we weren't all trapped in our houses all day playing this game all day, it wouldn't be as noticeable. But the way it broke down, it was like, man, it really should have bumped that up, because after a while and you're catching fucking daces and like goddamn sea basses, and it's like, the hell am I doing with my time? Yeah, fucking jewel beetle, great. I don't care about money anymore. Gives a shit. But no, like it's been a lot of fun just going and catching new stuff, and then like it reawoken that part of the game where like, oh yeah, this is really fun to do that. But yeah, that's kind of been it for us. We again kind of stopped caring about turnips. Oh, shouts to a friend of the show, Chris Pastor, who reached out to me and allowed my wife to come visit his island to sell turnips. And also, she was able to get a cotton candy machine she really, really wanted that he had. So we've moved into that phase of the game where we're looking for like the specific colored furniture and stuff like that. Yeah. So Chris hooked it up. Awesome dude. So thanks, Chris. What about you guys? How's your Animal Crossing going?
So I've gone to like kind of like moving my trees and shit around now, so I can like get my people, like get more campsite or get more housing like area set up, so I can get like my 10 residents. So I've been doing a lot of that, getting my my inclines and my bridges set up now. Tommy and Timmy, I freaking hate them on my island, dude. Like consecutively, like ever since Turnip started, I have not gotten over 111 bells as far as like a trade value on my island. They just like screw me so hard like every week, and
Hey, do they follow you around when you're in the store?
Only like the first time like I walk in there, like they're all up my ass, like trying to sell me stuff and get me to buy stuff, and then like when I leave,
if I sell something to them and then like walk over to the cabinet to see like what fishing poles they have or whatever, they're like right there on my back pockets. Like, well, I'm like, you guys think I'm gonna rob the store? Like, what are you guys doing? Like, just like, it's like I can't turn around without hitting them. It's like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, and then like they've been selling some pretty weird shit like in my place, and like I'm trying to get like the basement set up for like a gym. Like that's what I want it to be. Like just like I want like a weight bench and like all that stuff, because I don't do it in real life. I should probably do it in a video game. And then like I have like one part of my house that's kind of like my tinkering like workshop. It's got like my solderings and a chalkboard with like mathematical equations. It's essentially like my Unabomber hut. And then like I'm trying to get like a bathroom like set up, and I got a bidet, but I don't have like an actual toilet. So it's like I can just go in there and use the bidet, but I don't have anywhere to drop a deuce. I'd really like to like set that up right now. So, I'm just trying to get all those things set up. But yeah, it's been raining for like, it rained for like a week straight on my island. Like every time I logged in, it was just raining. I'm like, dude, seriously? Like what the hell? Like what's going on?
Get those coelacanths, man.
I know. I'm trying, dude. Like I'm trying to make my island like eco-friendly. So I got all the wind turbines up. Like I'm putting wind turbines up and shit like that.
Nice.
Like it's funny because like I'm like, oh, I should really probably like clean out some other games in my queue so I could say that I've beaten a game this year. And then like I get sucked in for like 3 hours playing Animal Crossing. I'm like, well, that just pissed away a whole nother day there. So thanks, Animal Crossing. But
once you get KK Slider to perform his concert, though, then you can say that you beat Animal Crossing.
I know, dude. There's a part of me that's just like, screw it. I'm just like, throw a hut here, throw a hut here. I don't care if it's buried by trees. I don't care if he's on a plateau and he can't get down. But bastard's gonna starve. I don't give a shit. And like, just get KK Slider here so I can say I beat this game, and then I can do everything else later. I don't care.
Yeah. Just roll credits, man. Just roll credits.
Yeah, it's gonna be like somebody's gonna come visit my island. There's gonna be like some resident that's like all the way up on this plateau and he can't get down, and I'm just gonna be like, it's gonna be surrounded by trees because I have no other place to put the trees. He's just gonna be like, well, whatever, okay, dude, like have fun up there. And then he's gonna be like, yeah, so and so's not happy. They want to leave your island. I'm gonna be like, bye. Okay.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, bye, bitch.
or in my case, it was bye, Melba. Melba left my island.
Yeah,
Jonathan cried. I felt bad.
Dude, I got this hippo, like, and she's just not cool. She's got like this really weird bowl cut and like some really goofy teeth, and she's like bright yellow, and like she just annoys me. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna totally ignore this chick. And my girlfriend's just like, you're so mean. And I was like, I don't care. I don't like this lady. Like, I want her off my island. I'm gonna go to Isabella and tell her I don't like her.
It's like get Hippo Karen off my island. Like, I'm done.
Get everybody off this island. I want a whole new group of people. These people suck. Justin, how are you doing? Have you stopped? Have you hit your like Animal Crossing like stopping point?
So I've been playing it. I mean, just not as much and stuff, but it's like I still wake up every morning and we'll dig up my 4 or 5 fossils and stuff and turn them into blathers. And majority of the time I have all 4, but then sometimes I look out because I'm down to I think there's only like 2, maybe 3 fossils that I still actually need and stuff. So, but it's pretty funny because for Mother's Day, we got Megan's mom a Switch Lite in Animal Crossing and stuff. So the one day I was like, hey, open your gates and stuff. I have some stuff for you. And she's like, okay. And I went over there and dropped like fucking like 40 fossils in front of her museum. And I'm like, here you go. Like, they're all duplicates that I have. So I'm like, turn them in. And I was like, if you already got them, you can sell them. And yeah. So, and then like, I mean, I've gone around a couple times and like, I was like running low on pocket money, and it's like I don't want to pull my 25 mil out of the bank, so I'm just like selling some fruit. And what else have I done? I mean, I'm at kind of the same point that Zach is, where it's like I'm just kind of collecting clothes. I was excited that I got a mini fridge for my kitchen, and when I placed it in there, it's red, so it matches all my other like appliances and stuff. So I was like, yes.
I did find it hilarious that the fridges and freezers are closets. You can, if you open them, you can change your clothes.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I haven't tried opening it.
Yeah, open it, and all of a sudden it's like brings you to the clothes menu. I'm like, really? I can put like clothes in my fridge? Is what you're telling me? Okay, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't also know you could like slap the punching bag either. I didn't know that. That was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, most of that stuff, pretty much everything is interactive in some way.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool in that regard. I don't know. Well, since you're not really playing Animal Crossing much anymore, Justin, what are you playing?
So, I was playing. So I saw the other day that for Bloodstained Ritual of the Night on Switch, they released some DLC to where you get to play as, I think his name's Sangetsu, and stuff. He's the little sword dude and stuff. And so I was excited. And I was like, oh man, like I love Bloodstained, and I was like, I'll play as him and stuff. And so I updated the game, turned it on, and I went to start a new game with them, and it didn't give me the option. And I was like, weird. And I was like, okay, what do I have to do? And I was reading the whatever article and stuff. It was like, yeah, you need to beat the game with the good ending and whatever. And I'm like, okay, like I did that. I've done that twice. And I was like, why don't I have it? And they're like, no, once the game updates, you need to beat it again. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
That's the worst.
So you're telling me that you can't update the game, look at any one of my 3 save data files, and check that, oh, he's beaten the game with the true ending. Let's give him the DLC. You're going to make me beat it a 3rd time. So that's what I've been doing is I was like, all right, fuck you guys. So I created a new game plus on normal difficulty, and my character is like level 68, and I have all the best weapons, and I have all the
Yeah.
souls and whatever already maxed out. So I'm like, I'm just gonna fucking plow through here as fast as I can to beat the game again to unlock the Zangetsu DLC and stuff. So I'm about like 60% of the way through the game again because I'm like accelerator shard, and I'm just running through rooms, and I got my sword like boom, 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 just going through rooms as fast as I can.
Now, I will commend you, though, because I still wouldn't have done that. Even with that, like, oh, well, I can do New Game Plus and probably knock this out in 6 hours or 8 hours. I still would be like, fuck it. Like, no, you guys, I'm done. I'm done with all of you.
And I love Ritual Night, but there's still, like, game design wise, there's stuff that I'm like, I don't understand why they did this. And then Switch port wise, even though it's been updated multiple times, there's still blatant issues with it that I'm like, I don't understand why this is a problem.
Like, well, because, I mean, Shannon, you said that game was unplayable for you, basically, right? When you tried it when it first came out?
Yeah, I said it was really challenging to play and enjoy.
So I've played it on Switch because I've beat it. I've 100%ed it on normal mode, and then I did a New Game Plus and 100%ed it on hard mode. And then I started a nightmare mode, and I got like 50% of the way through or whatever. But so then going through the New Game Plus, though, I'm like, it's been updated multiple times since that was all like when the game released that like I played it that much. And there's still some of the same issues that I had from when like there's certain rooms where it's like the load time is just insane. And I'm like, I don't like, it's just a black screen, and I'm like thinking that the game like crashed.
Yeah.
It's just loading for like 15 seconds, and I'm like, Breath of the Wild doesn't do this.
Right.
And you're telling me like this game does? Like, I don't. And there's multiple like audio issues still, which I experienced before. And one of the boss fights, this piece of audio was like indistinguishable and annoying and just like on loop, and it was just stuck. And I had that again, even playing through this. I don't know what the audio was, but it was still playing. Like, even after I went to a new area, I even went back out to like the title menu, and it's like still going. And I had to completely shut the game down and restart it to get the audio to stop playing. And
That's the worst.
I'm like, why is this an issue? I'm like, I don't understand why this hasn't been fixed yet.
Jeez. Yeah, that's rough. And it sucks when something like that happens because it just like takes you out of the entire game. Like, all of a sudden you're now you're an IT guy, and it's like this game sucks. The fix the program game sucks. Like, yeah, that's a bummer.
And to me, it's still a good game and stuff, and I hope it gets a sequel because I think they could have learned a lot from this and make it even better. But yeah, and there's like parts where it's like swimming in the game. You cannot swim in the game. Well, like right off the bat, you can't. You kind of float in the water, but there's like underwater kind of like level part, and I'm like, okay, like how do you swim? And you would think, okay, you beat a boss or something, and you get the ability to swim. So in order to swim, you don't beat a boss. You get a soul from a random enemy that gives you the ability to aqua jet water, and you like have to point with the direction, and like you basically can push yourself underwater and blast yourself in directions to swim. And I'm like, okay, so it's just, but getting a soul from an enemy is a like random percent chance, and so there's times where it's like you're gonna exit and enter the room and kill that enemy 20, 30 times to try and get this soul. It's not a guaranteed thing every time you kill it. So it's like that's an easily like missable thing that they never explain to you, and I'm like, I don't agree with the fact that something that you actively need to go through this part is just a random percent chance that you get from an enemy.
Yeah.
And then there's parts under the water where it's like you have to like use this other soul shard in order to get through this area, but you can't use it because you're constantly like having the aqua jet. So there's this other shard that you get that like allows you to basically sink underwater and stuff, and then you can use your other souls and stuff underwater. And the enemy that gives you that, you would think, okay, maybe you're gonna fight like an underwater boss or something, and then they give you that ability. No, you fight some old wizard, and that's like the soul thing that you get, and it has nothing to do with him or anything. And I'm like, what? Like, why is it two separate things to do the swimming? I'm like, it should be one soul or ability thing to do it. I'm like, I shouldn't need it pieced out. It's like they ran out of ideas, so they're like, well, let's just separate this into a separate thing. And I'm like, it has nothing to do with underwater. And then it's like, there's one where it's like a blood absorb sort of thing. And it's like, you use it one time in the entire game to drain this like well of blood to go into it. And I'm like, if you don't use it at least 3 times, what's the fucking point?
Yeah, why did you even have it? Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, as an actual soul outside of that, it's pretty much useless. So I'm like, why not just make the entire underwater level blood, and then you can use it to drain all the blood away, and then it reveals the actual level. That would have made fucking sense, but instead...
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I don't understand the reasoning behind some of those design choices. But...
Or just have that soul like also work on water to some level or something, you know, like it's like a drain liquid thing, not just blood, you know, like, or something.
Or have like another well in the game that you do it later or something, but it's just like, you only do it that one time, and I'm like, this is pointless. Like, I don't see... but besides that, I think that's really that, and the Animal Crossing, I think. I bought Ni no Kuni and the White Witch for Switch.
Oh, that's cool.
Because it was on sale for $30 instead of $50. And Megan played it on the PS3 and stuff, like way back in the day, but she played it. I didn't get to play it since she was...
I want to say I played like 10 hours of that game, which is barely out of the opening of that game, but I remember really liking it. It was just one of those life and time made it not possible to continue down that path. I wasn't willing to, have it be the one game I played for 3 months. But I remember really liking it. So yeah, I'm excited to hear about that when you get to it.
Yeah. So I'll probably, after I finish beating Bloodstained for the fucking 3rd time, I'm probably just going to be... Now, once I unlock the DLC, I'm going to be like, all right, fuck it. And then I'm not going to play the DLC and then switch over to Ni no Kuni.
Right. Totally. Shannon, what about you?
Let me see. This week, I dove into Trials of Mana more.
Okay.
So I've been trying to focus on that one more than Animal Crossing. And I'm enjoying my setup. I chose the Lancer, the female Lancer, the male warrior, and the female sorceress for my 3 characters. I enjoy the game a lot. They don't do too well of a job of breaking out the abilities that you get from the mana shards or the crystals. You get the little sprite that comes out and tells you, oh yeah, you got like the wind crystal and you got like the earth crystal, and like you're gonna have these abilities now, and you can upgrade your abilities in this wheel here. And like you kind of think that, all the other JRPGs that I've ever done, like when you unlock an elemental aspect in a game, that it's its own separate entity. Like you get the, if you want to upgrade your earth elemental abilities, you're going to go into that section and you're going to upgrade those abilities that they offer. And this one, they just basically, in like your option wheel of like, your physical characteristics, your intelligence, your stamina, like all this stuff, they have one that's just like for your mana shards. So like they just lumped everything into like one bundle, and it's fine. Like you spend a certain amount of points and you unlock a certain plateau, which is okay, but I find it very unfriendly to navigate while you're battling. You don't have to control your 2 other characters, and you can adjust the aggressiveness of them. So like you can either make them adjust like attack the weakest character, or only use physical attacks, or go all out, or be only healing, or you could choose how you want them to play, which is fine. They're smart in the sense that they will dodge and move out of the way, not like some of the other games, like that Marvel game I played on the Switch where they just stood there and just got beat up by like everything. They'll actually move out of the way of like enemy fire, which is good. So I would say overall right now I'm about like 10 to 12 hours into the game. I've gotten probably over half of the mana crystals, so okay. I'll see where the game kind of goes from there. It feels like it's going to be like, right now it feels like it's going to be like a 15 to 20 hour campaign depending on how I go through it. And I'm kind of hoping it is because this Friday, the Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition comes out, and I'm probably going to be jumping into that pretty hard. So that's where I'm playing right now. I enjoy it. I think the camera angle is a little hard to navigate around. That's the only real gripe I have about the gameplay. That like when you are attacking your enemies and you have to follow them around, it doesn't like auto pan. Like there's no way you can just like lock onto an enemy and have it like have you follow just that one guy while you're attacking him. Like you constantly are pivoting the camera, and sometimes if you push him into a wall and that camera tries to pan down, it's not going to catch you. So you kind of have to like fall back. But I'm enjoying it. It's just the right amount of difficulty. It's not too easy to where you're like, oh, I'm going to just roll over everybody. But at the same time, you can't just go in there and hack and slash. You have to kind of like time your attacks. And like if you're in the middle of an attack, you can't just like duck and roll out. Like if you see a big attack coming your way, you have to like wait for the animation to end. So you do have to time your attacks a little bit more accordingly. Or, you know, maybe think about how you're going to attack a boss before you go in there. So I do like it right now. We'll see how I feel next week.
All right, sounds good. Well, speaking of horrible camera angles, Shannon, let me tell you about a little game I was playing this week called Golf with Your Friends.
Oh,
and it was released for Game Pass, so we downloaded it because it's a mini golf game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, I bet my son would like this. And he does because he doesn't know what good golf games are. I hate this game. It's really bad. Like, it's really bad. I mean, it's one of those, it's a cheap mini golf game, which is fine. Like they put like abilities in there and stuff like that you can turn on and off, and you know, the maps are interesting, but they're not really great. But the camera is so fucking frustrating. Like it's like no one who programmed this game has any idea how cameras work in video games in a 3D space at all. Like, you know, and so like when you load up the hole, it says, oh, press Y to put the camera in free mode, and you get like 12 seconds to go around the course and find, like, plot out your map, right? Like, kind of figure out where the hole is and all that, which is fine if the camera did anything you would want it to do. The left stick moves the camera up and down, and the right stick moves it back and forth, right? Right? That's what you would think. Except if you go to then move the camera and also turn at the same time, you get slammed to the ground because the thing to turn the camera is also the up and down movement. And so what you end up having to do is go like super sky high with the camera and slowly roll forward just to kind of figure out, because if you touch the left stick again, once you go high, even though you may need to turn the camera, you're getting dropped all the way to the floor. And you can't see shit. And it's the most frustrating goddamn thing. There's no consistency in like power of swing. It's like you have 4 bars to fill up. 1 bar moves you like 10 feet. 2 bars moves you a fucking country mile. Like, there is no, like, you know, and then if you go 4 full bars, you're just going out of bounds. Like, there's no way it's staying in the course. You might as well have packed luggage and gone to the airport to follow it. Like, it's just so frustrating. And because it's like, it's also one of those, like, there's good golf games out there. Hot Shots exists, you know, like people have done this in a very good way before. And I was looking for something that was just kind of a shitty Hot Shots. That was like, okay, if you just take the mechanics from a Hot Shots and throw bad graphics around it, like, it'll still be fun enough to play with my kid. He likes it just because he likes smacking the shit out of things and doesn't care about score at all. But let me tell you, it's maddening. To play as an adult, that game is fucking maddening. So I would not recommend Golf with Your Friends. Unless you hate your friends, then go for it.
Dude, have you ever played Ribbit King on GameCube?
No.
Oh, man, dude, that's like one of the GameCube hidden gems is Ribbit King. It's golf, but with frogs.
Okay.
And not that you are frogs, the ball is frogs.
Oh,
and you hit the frogs, and it's like sometimes you'll hit it, and it's like they'll do like an extra hop and stuff. So it's like you'll like hit it, in like the hole, and it like will go into like bounce, and some frogs like bounce more than others, and there's like some like Mario like kart kind of items and shit like that, like hazards, like and there's one where it's like you're on the moon, and so you're like launching frogs like up, and it's like and then like you get like combos and stuff. And when they land in a pond, they'll swim to like the other side and stuff. So sometimes you'll launch them in the water to get it like across the water.
All right, I'm in. But yeah, what you're saying did make me think. After watching my kid play this, I would love a new Mario Golf. If they wanted to just come out with a new Mario Golf, I'm all over it. I'm in because he loves golf games, but I can't take this game anymore. Like I'm to the point where I'm like, no, let's play something else. Anything else? I don't even care. The other thing I've been playing this week is I finished up Devil May Cry 5. I finished it. Good Lord, that story gets real stupid. Like, holy crap, that story gets stupid. I did text Justin last week when I beat chapter, I think it was 13. And, all right, Shannon, I'm glad you're sitting down. Let me go through this with you. So, you're walking through a destroyed part of the city, and you fight a demon that has a naked woman inside of it, because, of course, why not? Devil May Cry. You beat it. It's a boss, and you beat it. And in the video that plays after, a chunk of this demon's essence, soul, something, I don't know, flies off and melds with a broken motorcycle that is over on the side. It's not what you think. It's not what you think, because now you can ride that motorcycle. It will split in two, and you wield it like swords. and it's the dumbest / raddest fucking thing, like, for the rest of the game, and it's incredibly powerful. Like, if you can get the motorcycle swords and break off the Demon Buster attack, like, in the middle of a fight, it does insane damage. Like, even at the higher difficulties, like, it's one of those, like, it almost is broken. It's a little, if it was any faster, it absolutely would be broken. Like, there's times in combat it's just not a usable weapon because the enemy's too fast or something you'll never land. But if the enemy's slower, like when you have to fight V's minions, spoilers, by the way, sorry guys. When you have to fight V's minions towards the end, like, I fucked that panther up with that thing. Like, it was just like, oh yeah, Nightmare, you're my bitch with this motorcycle. Like,
and it's like the range on it is so wide, and like the big clumps of enemies, you just extend them both out, and you're just spinning around, smacking shit everywhere, and you're just like, whoa.
Or when you do like the Kratos swing with like both of them together, and the tires are spinning. There's like, it's just like, oh, it's great. It's so good. It's never not the best thing. Like when you're swinging that motorcycle.
So can you ride the motorcycle too?
Oh, well, to attack you can. But you can't just ride it around. But no, so can I talk spoilery about this game, or should we let it go? Because I don't know if like statute of limitations is up for this.
I don't know. The game's been out for a year and a half. Like at this point,
I would say spoil it. Spoilers.
All right. Well, okay. So if you're concerned, fast forward like 5 minutes or so, but I'm gonna just go into the end of the game right now. Okay, so it's the dumbest fucking thing. The whole point of the game starts when this demon tree comes out of a portal, right? Goes up to the sky. It's growing. It's sucking the life out of literally the world, pulling blood in from like the world to grow. You come to discover that Urizen, the demon behind all this, isn't Urizen. It's actually Virgil, Dante's brother, who has split his own personality. He's removed his humanity from himself, who is V, you come to find out. And V's slowly been falling apart this whole time. Virgil ends up eating the fruit that gets him of the demon tree, becomes insanely powerful. You end up kicking the shit out of him anyway, so it was kind of like, I don't understand what the point of this whole thing was. But then he becomes Virgil again, and he has his sword, the Yamato, which you find out is what's the other guy's arm? What's the other guy's name?
Nero?
Nero. It's Nero's fucking arm that he hacked off him, and it became a sword, right? And this sword opens up dimensions, because sure. And, oh, by the way, Shannon, also, glad you're still sitting down, Virgil's Nero's dad.
What?
That's the right reaction, because they don't fucking explain it at all. They're like, oh, that's your dad. What? And Nero's like, who? Virgil? And he's like, yeah, I've known this whole time. And he's like, what? And it's funny because Nero has the same reaction you do as a player. Like, what? What? Like, huh? And then Dante goes off to kill Virgil. They have a huge epic battle. And in the end of it, Nero shows up in a now demon form because I don't fucking know. He's got a demon form now, and he's just saying that Virgil and Dante cannot fight each other anymore. He's not going to allow them to kill each other. Like, this fratricide ends now. God damn it. And to be fair, he kicks the shit out of Virgil. Like, just destroys him. And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, okay, we can't beat him, so we might as well listen to him. And then Virgil and Dante decide to go into the underworld to sever the roots of the demon tree, and leaving Nero on Earth. And the game ends with Dante and Virgil like fighting side by side fighting each other as like sparring, but also fighting hordes of demons whenever they show up in the underworld in the game. And it kind of glosses over that Virgil killed like fucking millions of people in this whole process. Like, he's like laid waste to a city the size of New York for this to happen. And they're like, yeah, but he's your dad and it's all good, man. Let's go down to the underworld and kill some demons. And it's like, wait, what the fuck? He was just about to kill everyone? And like, he chopped off his son's arm to make a sword?
What happens to V? Does does he like go back with Virgil? Like, does he meld back with him, or?
Yeah, so V gets reabsorbed into him, and which returns Virgil's like human form to himself. But at the same time, it frees all of V's minions, who decide that they're going to kill Dante. And at first, it's like, that's a weird turn. I don't understand it. But the story, it's the one part of the story that actually makes a bit of damn sense, is you kind of figure out, like, these three things were tortured souls in their own way. And they're going after Dante because they know they can't win. And Dante will kill them all, essentially freeing them. And it's one of those, like, oh, that's really sad, but okay. Like, I get it. Like, they're essentially, like, committing suicide by Dante. And that part of the game was actually pretty fun. That was a cool level. But like, that story just gets so fucking dumb. Justin, can we talk for a second about the Michael Jackson dance that happens when you get the hat?
I was waiting for it. The cowboy hat cutscene is like one of the best parts of the game.
It's a part of that game. Let me tell you. Like, whew, man, the Michael Jackson dance. If you're not going to play this game, look up that cutscene. That's a thing that happened in a game that came out this generation, by the way.
Which the hat itself, like, I didn't use it a lot because it uses red orbs, but like when you do use it, it's pretty beastly. Like when you have a lot of red orbs and you're willing to take the hit on some red orbs to use it.
Yeah, that thing does damage for sure. But I think that is like the best thing about the game at the end is it stays super fun because it tosses a lot at you, but you can play that game really how you want to. Like, I found myself in Swordmaster with the sword and the shotgun pretty much the entire time. Like, that was like my default. I had the most fun with it. I got all the combos for it. I figured out how to use all the combos. And then to go away from that would be the pistols with the motorcycle. And then if I wasn't in one of those two, I was just in the world fucking around. But it was like when it was go time, it was one of those two setups. So
Dude, I was like, one of my other favorite parts and stuff is when, because, well, one, I like how every time you're like, there's no way Dante can get any more weapons, and then he gets another one and another one, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like he has like 8 weapons already. Like, how many more is he gonna get?
The triple nunchuck cinematic was also real good. That was really good.
The fact that it was a callback to Devil May Cry 3
yeah,
was amazing. When he was like, "Oh, you killed my brother," and I was like, no way.
And he's like, "But I'm the king," you know. And it's like, "All right, puppy, you're going down." But yeah, that game is really dumb but really fun. Like it's the combat makes that game super fun. And I did like that Nico told Nero that it was okay to cry, even though it'd make him a pussy, but it would be fun. Like, I thought that was good. And I enjoy that they made the credits something you play through. Like, as the credits are rolling, I put the controller down and I realized, like, oh shit, I have control. Like, I'm like all of a sudden beating a whole bunch of shit, and it goes from Nero to Underworld and all that, and it was cool. It was a cool way to handle the credits.
Well, and I thought that one of the coolest parts too, I thought, was the fact that after you beat the game, you can like start like a new game or do whatever, and Nero has the demon form at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
So you get to play through the game with Nero, and he's much better when he has the demon form that just fucking wrecks everything.
Yeah, his demon form at the end of that game it's one of those like, holy shit, where has this guy been? Like, it's funny because that's like the same thing they're doing in the game. The characters in the game are doing the same thing, but it's one of those like, yeah, you wreck shop with him. Like when that last fight where you take control of Nero and he's fighting Virgil, it's like, because the fight with Dante and Virgil is hard. Like that's a brutal fight. Like I didn't die much in the game, but I died probably twice against Virgil with Dante in that fight.
It's just like he's fast. Like Virgil's
so fast.
Like, super fast.
And he mixes up his attacks a lot, which, you know, most things have a set pattern, but Virgil changes his pattern with the same starting point a lot of times. And you go from that battle to which was like a total grind to the one with Nero, and it's just like, oh, this was a good 2 minutes. Click, 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 click. Okay, that's done. And it was like, wait, what the? Okay, shit. Jesus.
Like, charges in you to attack, and you're like, okay, thanks. And you're just like, boom.
Well, you've got these like sick ass demon wing fist things that are like hanging on your shoulders that wreck shop. It's like, yeah, it was pretty fun. But yeah, I was happy I played it, and it didn't overstay its welcome. It got crazy, and then ended. So, but I have thought about going New Game Plus with it just to see what more chaos I can do, and also just to, you know, that way you can unlock everything, and there's a whole bunch of moves I didn't buy. Yeah, so it was definitely worth the time. Definitely good palate cleanser game for sure. Shannon, you should play. It's rad.
Nice. Yeah, I'll just add it to the queue.
Yep. Put it on the stack. Mm-hmm. But I think that might be it for us. It was kind of our normal long-winded show this week. But why don't I toss it to Mr. Shannon Moore for the outro. Shannon!
All right. Well, as always, thank you guys for listening to another awesome show. Please do us a favor, and maybe yourself, because you'll get a shout out on the show. Leave us a review wherever you download these podcasts. Let me see. Justin, is there any news on Negative Space this week?
No, but I did release my pet Gleepglop.
Mm-hmm. How's that doing?
Yes, Gleepglop.
It's doing okay. Like, for the fact that, for what it is, where it literally you can play the entire thing in like 2 minutes. But you can eat your shit and then call it a day.
Awesome. That's great. I'm glad you're enjoying that, and it's a little bit of lightheartedness in these troublesome times.
Exactly.
Let me see. Is there anything else? You can find us on Twitter. You can go to Facebook and join that Pixel Life's Facebook group. We have a whole bunch of cool people on there that are helping us out with our turnip prices, dropping some funny memes, also talking some shop on there as well. So, go on, stop by, join the group. And Zach, what does Robbie usually tell us to do in these times?
This would be about the time of the show where Mr. Robert Siltenpool would say, "Hey guys, go be great."